This is the Anne Phil Interviews. I'm here in Cannes with Anne Naylor, celebrant, writer, inspirational speaker. Hello Anne, I'm delighted to be here with you, but I'm very eager to start talking with you. With ongoing concerns about money, there are organisations running seminars about how best to manage your wealth and protect investments. Now you've started a series of articles called Wealth School. Now they're not about wealth as we know it. So what inspired you to take your angle?
Well, to start off with, I wrote a book which is on my website, and it's called The Wealth Book, Winning with Spirit.
Okay.
And I think what disturbs me or concerns me is that people get so concerned about money and wealth, and I thought, well, there's another way, there's another approach that we can take to wealth. And the approach I'm taking is from the inside out, because I think people tend to limit their sense of wealth to things in the world, their investments, the house,
yes,
the car, so things that are tangible. And in fact, people can be very flexible about the tangible things, but what I'm looking at is behind all the tangible things, the signs of wealth or the symbols of wealth, what is the wealth in the person? What are their skills? What are their abilities? What are their qualities? So a person may have skills like doing interviews, for example, running a computer, being a lawyer, being an accountant. There are all sorts of skills that people have, talents and gifts, creativity, that kind of a thing. And in addition to that, they have qualities, kindness, empathy, ability to listen. So there's a lot of wealth in people, and then behind those skills, qualities, talents, there is the human spirit. There is that sense, that core thing that every human being has, regardless of their age, their circumstance, their bank balance, put it that way. And when that spirit comes alive, then people have a sense of their own wealth, and it's not dependent on whether you have a car, a property, or lots of savings in the bank. And that's what I want to do, is to help people realize more of their inner sources of wealth, so they feel less dependent and therefore less upset by changes going on in the material world. Because after all, at the end of the day, people can live on relatively small amounts of money. Obviously you need some, but you maybe need a lot less than you think. And if you can live to your needs rather than what you think you want, then you're in a much stronger position to deal with when there are economic changes. You have the confidence to cut back. You're not dependent on buying the latest fashion or whatever it is. So I want to help people awaken to their inner strength.
Now that's a good point, you're talking about the economic side of things, because I'm constantly hearing about, from politicians, talking about austerity measures. We've got to tighten our belts. But for most people, those belts really are as tight as they can get. So what do you say, Anne?
Well, I need to be polite here, don't I? What I feel is that the politicians and also the media can frighten the living daylights out of us.
Yes.
If we listen to them too much.
It's scare tactics, isn't it?
It's a scare tactic. And if you tighten up, you can't function properly. Your health will suffer, you get stressed. So I actually get quite annoyed by these scare tactics, because you can't function if you're being frightened. You need to let go, relax, and be aware, because there are opportunities showing up all the time. But if you're tight, if you're sort of so tight you can hardly breathe, you don't see them. And I think this sort of tighten your belts, yes, be practical, but you've still got to feed yourself, you've still got to pay the rent, those essentials have to be covered. But you don't need to rush out with your credit card and buy this year's fashion, for example, or the new car, or the holiday to somewhere exotic. In America, they're very adaptable, and they have staycations where you have a holiday, but you stay at home, or you don't go long distances and so forth. So human beings can be very flexible, but when you listen to politicians, you forget that. And I think we need to be aware that each one of us has a lot more flexibility and adaptability. And what's more, when you focus on your inner wealth, you feel full with much less. So when you can when you can wake up, feel grateful for the day. I mean, it's easy today because it's sunny, isn't it? It's so lovely. But we all have so many things we forget, and when we can count our blessings, we start to feel full, and then the material side of life doesn't have such a hold on us. We're freer. And then we can be more creative, more proactive, and we can look for the new opportunities which are coming up, which are phenomenal and very exciting in my view.
Coming back to wealth in monetary terms,
Yeah.
and we live in a very unbalanced society. There are some who have more than enough and those very, very little or nothing at all. Now, does your wealth school tackle that issue?
Not on a larger scale, but on an individual scale. So I think one of the things, people have a lot of money, one of the things I notice about the very wealthy is the ones that are successfully very wealthy are often giving their money away. Not all of it, obviously, but someone like Warren Buffett hands millions, if not billions, to Bill Gates, who's channeling it into his various charitable funds that he's doing. So Warren Buffett, who makes huge quantities of money, gives it away. I read about a woman, I forget her name exactly now, who came through the wartime, a lot of hardship, but was able to set up a business for herself in England, and out of gratitude she gave away 100 million to charities that she could relate with. So I would encourage in Wealth School for people to give, not wait till you have your millions, but give a little away.
You have a way of pushing buttons, Anne. In one of your articles, you speak of finding prosperity in stillness. What does that mean?
How do you find that pressing a button? I'm going to throw it back to you and I will answer the question. So how does that press a button, do you think?
Because you challenge. I mean, sometimes just your titles are challenging.
Yeah.
It wants you to investigate more, to read more.
Yes.
And you're still pushing buttons within the context of your articles.
Yes.
And that's what I mean by pushing buttons.
Okay. Well, most people, I think, perceive of prosperity as being you're out in the world, you've got position, you've got status, you've got the symbols of prosperity, like a big house, you've got a yacht or a jet or whatever, all those things. And then people might look at that and think, well, how can I be prosperous? It's only for the rich and famous. And so what I challenge then is, if you're not in that kind of category, which I am not, I can still enjoy prosperity by just taking time to be peaceful in myself. One of the things that I quote in that article is there was a time when I was fretting about money and I was worrying about my financial future, and the mind just kept on. It was really getting to me. And it was like, enough already, just stop. And I went for a walk and I'd sort of calmed down a little bit and I'd stopped my mind chattering like it did. And I just heard this voice. It said, be still and know that I am God. Now I do have a spiritual perspective, and something in me just calmed down. It's like, okay, here I am walking in the sunshine. I've got clothes to wear. I've got food in the kitchen. I've got wonderful friends. That is prosperity. That's that inner quality, the stillness of recognizing I have so much. And so I think finding prosperity in the stillness is taking time to stop the chattering mind, to stop the scare tactics coming in.
So really appreciating what you have around you instead of wanting all the time.
Absolutely right. I have said, well, my mission is I'm building a better world on the solid foundation of individual health, wealth and happiness, and the appreciation of human value. Now it's the appreciation of human value. That's what Wealth School is about. And it's appreciating not just gratitude, but it's appreciation that you normally think of as increasing value. So the more you're grateful for who you are, the more you give of yourself, the more you appreciate as a human being in your human qualities. So over life, your qualities can expand and develop. When we meet challenges, our inner strengths can grow and become more available and more visible. Our wisdom grows. So it's expansive, not in the material sense, but in who we are. Now the material sense can follow, because if you've got that feeling of inner wealth, you've got confidence to go out into the world, to talk to people, to handle an interview, if you've got business, to sell your product or what your service is. So if there's something you feel like doing, go and talk to someone who's already good at doing it and see what they can give you. And surprisingly, people often want to help. We sometimes think, oh, I don't want to be a bother, or I don't want to go down there. Have courage. And that's what this inner wealth does. It gives you the courage to go and knock on a door and say, I need some help. Would you be willing to help me?
Get that extra experience when somebody who already knows, really, at the end of the day.
Yes, and typically people want to give of what they've got to offer. If someone came to ask me, advice about writing or something like that, I happily tell them, happily share with them what I know. It may not be all they need, but they can ask someone else. So I think that's what's happening at the moment too. People are realising we need one another, we need to talk to one another and have the courage and not feel ashamed that I need to get information or I need to do something differently. It's a very thrilling age in which we're living at the moment.
But as you rightfully agreed, that we do need money to get by.
Yes.
So if we enhance or get to know about our inner wealth,
Yes.
we will be attracting the financial rewards that come with knowing ourselves. Is that correct?
That is my experience. I think when you know yourself, you have a certain peace of mind or a presence that draw people to you. So things can come to you more easily. So if you have an idea of something you want to do and you're full of who you are, you have that sense of inner wealth, you tend to draw the right people to you and the people who can assist you with what it is that you want to do.
I think on that note then, Anne Naylor, I think I should enrol in Wealth School. Thank you very, very much. That was absolutely enriching. Thank you.
Thank you, Anna. Appreciate it.